and welcome to Own Your Divine Light Show. My name is Janet Miller, and I am inviting you to experience the divine feminine frequencies of compassion, grace, and unconditional love through the soothing voice of Vandana Atara Aura. Vandana is the first waver, a rebirther, and a timeline transformer, and so much more. Vandana is here to raise consciousness, elevate souls, and be of service to uplift the planet. Welcome, Vandana. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so blessed to have you here.
Thank you so much, Janet, and thank you for having me on your show. It's quite an honor. I'm very excited to be here to share these amazing transformational tools and practical magic.
Yes, exactly. So, Vandana, some of the words you are new describing who you are to some of the people that may be tuning in. So I was wondering if you'd mind explaining what is a first waver, a rebirther, and a timeline transformer. Because I kind of know, but I don't know if they do. A lot do, but not everybody.
So basically, these words are meant to empower and inspire all of us. All sentient souls who are ascending, evolving, growing, expanding, and really remembering why we're even here in the first place. So, you know, we're multidimensional and we live on different timelines, and we can travel to different places from the past. Even though there's no past, present, future, we know that. We know that time is not linear. But if people experience trauma on their, timelines from childhood or let's say past lives, I'm here to transform that and to help people to reawaken, rebirth, and really kind of feel more comfortable in their own skin and to heal on all levels and layers of their being. So that's really what a timeline transformer is, to transform or transmute trauma into ease, peace, flow, and space. So you don't feel so stuck anymore on an old timeline that doesn't really reflect who you are, that probably is generational or ancestral. And so that you can really feel like you're your own person, right? So that's what the Reawakener is, that title, because, a lot of us have fallen asleep and our gifts are dormant and untapped. So I'm here to reawaken that part of you that went to sleep, even your heart, who might have fallen asleep, so that you could feel your feelings again and really own who you are. So I hope that explains the timeline transformer, the Reawakener, parts of us that we've shut down, our psychic gifts, our telepathic abilities, our resourcefulness, our resiliency, and our flexibility, so that we can really feel like, oh, I get who I am. I get why I'm here. And, this life is starting to really make sense. I'm starting to really enjoy being on this timeline.
Thank you. That is beautiful. Those are exactly what we need to awaken our gifts. So I know you help people in so many ways, and you are an ascension guide, and you're gifted with the ascension, codes. And that would be something else that people may not be aware. What is ascension? Like people use different words for ascension.
Yeah.
So I'd love to, have you talk about that from your point of view.
Gaia, Mother Earth, Pachamama, whatever you like to call
Pachamama,
the spirit of the land, of the earth. So we are, we're rising, we're awakening, and we're moving and expanding into higher consciousness. Everyone is. So the planet, our beloved planet that we live on, that feeds us, that nourishes us, that supports us, is arising, is expanding, is awakening, and ascending into higher dimensional consciousness based on oneness, unity, community, and new earth abundance. And as you probably are aware yourself, and I'm sure everyone who's listening, you probably have been noticing that within yourself, like you're also starting to realize and remember your gifts, what's special and different and unique about you. And you see that people are really really emanating more love in their hearts for each other. We're really rising above the old patriarchy and moving into the energy, the frequency of support,
Mm.
supporting each other, and feeling really safe to express who we are in the world. So
Yeah.
this is the ascension process. And a lot of people say, well, we were in the third dimension or the fourth, and now we're in the fifth. Some people say, well, I'm in the sixth. And, I don't really like to get into heady stuff like where it separates us.
Yeah. Mm.
Like, oh, I am, I'm in the sixth dimension. I don't know about you. You're down there. I'm up here. Because that just creates more veils of illusion, which is Maya, separation. And
Mm.
what we're moving into is more like togetherness, oneness, right?
The group.
Equal rights, equal, everything is egalitarian. So it's creating more, it's allowing Gaia to reestablish more of sort of like where everyone is in this together and no one is better than someone else. It's just like we're all in this together. So we're moving into the state of more peace and more grace for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, it shouldn't be like the old matrix where it was sort of like we were controlled or limited or stuck and we
Mm.
weren't allowed to express who we truly are. So now we're recognizing, you know, yes, we can be individuals, but we can also, reunite with our soul families again. So that's what this time is all about. This is the ascension. This is the golden age, the Aquarian age, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving out of that Piscean age of authoritarian figures or, having to depend as a child on a parent, on a figure that is greater than us, that is the authority, and giving all of our free will and our powers to this guru, because we're all gurus, we're all teachers, we're all master beings. This is the age of Aquarius, where the maternal matriarchy, divine mother, is reemerging on this planet
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to love us, to nurture us, to hold us, and to comfort us so that we can really feel like empowered and
Yeah.
sovereign on our own, right? We're our own authority figure. So
Yes.
that's what it is. We're our own spirit guide. And we don't need to look outside of us to seek, something that is already within us.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the reawakening. And to me, this is what the ascension process is really all about.
That's beautiful. I think that's so clear and so easy to, envision that right now because
Awesome.
there's such beautiful things going on. In 2019 has been called the year of expansion. Some say the year of metamorphosis. It's playing such a role in awakening everyone's gifts because people are, a little tired of their life and what's been going on in the day-to-day mundane stuff. And ascension mastery is becoming more and more attainable right now because of this energy coming onto the planet, the light coming onto the planet, which I know you have been so much a part of helping bring that in. And people are here seeking answers to, well, how can I change my life? How can I make myself be happy in what I'm doing now on a day-to-day basis? So
Right.
you're helping people seek that. So how do they start doing that?
Well, first of all, how could you not be who you are? How could you not love everything about you and love everything and have trust and faith in this process? There's really no other way. There's no turning back here. So what I teach people, or it's really, this teaching is ancient. It's not new. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a secret. It's really about remembering yourself and what's special about you, all of your ancestrally inherited gifts and strengths that make you who you are. So it's just like coming up with a plan. Having a practical strategy is really important, but also reconnecting with your higher self, your I am presence, and
Mm-hmm.
all the resources, the blessings, the magic and miracles that exist in the quantum. The quantum realm is the field of all possibilities and potentialities so that we can all reach our highest potential, and it's faster and easier because of all of these cosmic energies.
Mm-hmm.
from the galactic center that's actually helping us to dissolve and collapse all of the sort of like false core beliefs, the conditioning, the programming that we were raised around, right?
A lot of
Everything, the vibrations getting higher and higher and higher, and it's if we just stay very dense and heavy and burdened and blocked, we won't be able to enjoy all of these amazing opportunities and synchronicities that are happening all around us and for us.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But people are going through some difficult times right now, and some people.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend who's extremely sick, and he doesn't have long left, and he's going to miss his son's wedding. It'll be his first, and we're all very sad because he's young, and we didn't expect it, and it just came out of the blue. So his wife is going through that, and all of us are kind of sharing in that, and it's sad. And people are, it's been New Year's. I didn't get to see him, but a bunch of them did go over and see him, and it's sad. So when people are going through those kinds of things, how do you step out of that? How can you change that feeling a little just to feel? I mean, she's doing great. The wife is amazing. She's beautiful. But the fact that she's suffering with this situation and it's affecting all of them, and they've all been just so wonderful. And so this is just a little example, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but it's just like for people to say, well, I'm going through stuff and it's not easy right now. So, all right, it sounds great to step into the joy, but how do I do it? How do you help them do that? Because I know that's part of what you do.
Yes, of course. The main thing is to hold that space for the person who's struggling, because we know everything happens on a soul level. Like there are these contracts and agreements, which I also teach about and perform soul retrievals to help people to sort of get their powers and their light back and their life force energy. But the main thing is to hold that space and to allow that person to feel like there is hope, and that it's never too late. And when there's life, there is hope. And that the body actually knows how to heal itself. If that's what the original soul plan is, if on a soul level that person actually wants to live and thrive and get better, they will. Because we know all physical pain, illness, dis-ease begins on the spiritual or the emotional level. So what I do is help people to unlock any emotional burdens, emotional blocks, or emotional trauma. And that person's probably unconscious and unaware of it. But I run these clearings, these clearing codes to create vitality and new possibilities, so that person doesn't have to struggle as much. And then I help to train or retrain the family, right? The caregivers, because I'm a caregiver too. My son is Asperger's. He's 27. He still lives with me. And so I know how it is. I'm an empath, and I know what that feels like because I feel so deeply. But it's really important for us to be sort of, in this case, to really be there for them in every way, to really be attentive, but to keep their spirits high.
Yes.
To keep their spirits high.
Yeah.
To give them something to live for, and to do everything you can to make them feel like they're not alone through this time.
At this part, he's kind of getting uncommunicative. He can't quite communicate like he used to. So
that's okay, because there are different ways to communicate.
Yeah,
there's telepathic communication, the language of light.
That's right. That's right.
And just that loving touch. I'm a Reiki master teacher as well, and soon to be a medical Reiki practitioner working in hospitals with surgeons and surgeries and stuff.
Wow.
Okay, so just the loving touch, the presence, to really work on yourself first, so that you can be that crystal clear channel of divine light and that beacon of hope for your loved one. Right? So just if you sit by their bedside, I also channel these divine doctors and spirit surgeons. I think we were talking about that.
I know you do.
A lot of them are galactic, but then there are real doctors, spiritual healers, doctors and centers in Brazil, in
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines, Indonesia, Bali, all over the world, really, Tibet, that we don't really know about here. And I won't get into the reasons why we're kept from this knowledge, but there are a lot of miracles. There are a lot of cures that actually happen every day that we're not told about. So that's also my in the works for this year, is to educate people and inform people about other resources. There might be some travel required, but it would be well worth it because people are getting helped and healed every day. We might not read it in the newspaper, in the New York Times or the Daily News, but trust me, it does happen. And
Mm-hmm.
it is, in anything is possible. And we just
Yes.
have to really keep our spirits high and exude this positive attitude. Like, it's okay. You know, I love you, I accept you, and we're going to get through this together. And
Mm-hmm.
never give up hope. Never give up on your loved ones,
Yes. Yes.
mostly on yourself first.
And
Because
I
then
know
that
that they
loved one
will.
will feel that energy and then they'll give up too. A part of them will die. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about the physical, but
Right.
we know that first we have to get to the root, the core of the original trauma, where
Mm-hmm.
it started, and we have to unravel and unwind all of that for that person, and also like help that person to know it's not their fault. They didn't create this disease.
Mm-hmm.
They're not being punished, right? Because our thoughts, our beliefs control everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it all starts with here, and we also have to come from here, from our heart space, and trust our gut. Everything is connected. So we're really here to reconnect with source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we feel disconnected, nothing can change for us. We
Mm-hmm.
won't feel like we're a valuable member of the earth.
True. True.
We're going to feel sort of ungrounded and like, what's going on, and confused. So this is what I'm here to do, bring that clarity, that courage, that confidence to people, all whoever is, ready to hear it
Mm-hmm.
and to embody it and receive this.
Yes, I know a lot. Some of this can be due to even ancestry or, past lives, or
Yes,
genetically you take it on sometimes. And so that is an interesting, I mean, there's so much for people to understand about how these things can happen in your life.
exactly. We're not taught this, and it's not
Right.
anyone's fault. It's sort
No.
of like we have to unlearn and unteach ourselves
Hmm.
from all of the sort of hypocrisy and bureaucracy that we were raised in, all the lies, really, all the stories that were never true, that keep us small, that keep us pretending to be smaller than we actually are, and that keep us sort of in fear of our own powers, fear of success, fear of failure. So we want to rise above the fear, transmute that, and move into the space of pure love,
Hmm.
self-love, self-care, self-honoring, right?
Yes, and that's what my mission is also in this, bringing in this program, is to bring in self, to help people understand there's a way to encompass self. I learned it through the past 20 years traveling journey you
Mm-hmm.
are, and it's just it's a journey, and it's always an easy. But when you are given the gift of awareness of, wow, this is something different, that you're allowed to follow this new path, it's amazing. I mean, I feel so blessed, and
Yeah,
that's why
well,
I want to offer this out to people so that they can get this blessing and this amazing information. It's hard for people to digest in so many ways.
yeah.
If you're ready to hear it, and like you said, you have to be ready to hear it. Yet if it's the seed, then people are like, oh yeah, someone mentioned that, and it's I got to check this out, or that person talked about it. Vandana Atara talked about this, and I want to see what he has to offer. So it's pretty,
Yeah.
we're in an amazing time. It's an amazing time to step into new things and to move, like the ascent. It's moving into your mastery. It really is what the mastery is all about, isn't it?
Yes, self mastery,
Hmm.
prosperity, planetary prosperity,
Yeah, and
universe abundance.
exactly.
And I just I want people to realize this is not new information.
Right.
Has
That's
been
true.
happening for trillions of years. It's just coming out. The truth is coming out. the
Mm-hmm.
lies are collapsing, and lies are being exposed, masks are being dropped, disguises are being seen through, in order to help us uh, to
Rise
feel
above.
well, and to remember we're all sovereign beings and we
Yes.
all have the right to be here. There are no accidents, because if you're alive and you're breathing, you're meant to be here. You're a gift
Yeah.
just by you being here, whether you know it or not, whether you trust it or not, you are. And
Mm-hmm.
you have this amazing potential. It's in your DNA, it's in your blood and bones. And like you said before, uh, it is ancestral. And not just some of it, but I would say that our ancestors, both the well ones, the healed ones, and also the troubled ones, have a very, very potent impact on our lives
Mm-hmm.
and our relationships, on our finances, on our love lives, on every aspect, really, of our lives. So, this is something also that I teach people to really connect with your loving, kind, compassionate ancestral guide or guardian, because we all have it, even if we have to dig back thousands of years before, all the trouble began, the trouble and the trauma, those timelines, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can sort of relocate
Mm-hmm.
to a better timeline that's meant for us to live on,
Which
right?
is what
So
we're doing. We're shifting to the higher timeline, aren't we?
that's right.
Yes. And
We are.
that's a
Well,
whole other conversation, isn't it? That kind of shift.
everything is sort of
It's
connected. You
connected.
can't really separate anything.
True.
So yeah,
That's
that is something that's very important for people to be aware of.
yeah.
Right.
I think
That the
we all
shift
have.
is happening, whether we choose to be a part of it and fully participate in this blessing or not.
Mm-hmm. So you speak of empaths and they're highly sensitive souls, and you're an empath. How
Yeah.
would people know what that is, and what are the signs that they might see in themselves?
Oh, Janet, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. When you feel different, an empath is someone who feels very deeply, who could feel other people's pain, but also their bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who is clairsentient, so that's one of their strongest psychic gifts and abilities. An empath was always, generally, if you're an empath, you were probably really misunderstood as a
Mm-hmm.
child growing up. You're probably maybe even were labeled as like the black sheep of the family,
Oh,
or you
gee, I think that's somebody I can identify with. Can you?
or like the not just to be polite, but the weirdo, or that
The
person
woo
is just
woo, the
not
woo woo,
the
as
woo
well.
woo or the weirdo, right? So there's that, just feeling like you don't belong on this planet. There must have been an accident, like you must be adopted. You can't
Yes,
actually
yes.
be the blood lineage of your parents. But usually, um, we as empaths are born into, this is all contracted and agreed upon pre-birth. We're all we choose those parents to be actually their teachers, to
Mm-hmm.
parent our own parents, or to reparent their wounds. So there are no accidents why, and we're usually very loving. They say we have two hearts, because that's how big our hearts are.
Mm-hmm.
And we come in, we're advanced old souls. That's what I said in the beginning when you were asking me, well, what do your names mean? What's a first runner, right? So
Yeah,
it's like the pioneers,
yeah.
right? That actually chose on a soul level to become the parents of like the indigos, the crystals, diamonds, rainbow children.
Mm-hmm.
And my son, or anyone who's a little bit different and very advanced old soul, very wise beyond their years, they all have these diagnoses, these labels, if you will, and a lot of them are really drugged, unfortunately,
Yes.
medicated, numbed, which I've never done with my son. I know he's gifted, I know he's psychic, and so he's also an empath. So the thing is with empaths, because we're sensitive, we can bounce back energies between each other. So what I teach people in my courses and one-on-one in my intimate sessions with people is to manage these sensitivities, to navigate them in a more empowered way, to own them, to honor them, and to embrace these empathic gifts, and to trust your intuition, because
Mm-hmm.
empaths have amazing intuition. They're always spot on, never wrong. So
Mm.
once you're an empath and you start doubting yourself or you feel disempowered, I'll teach you how to sort of get back on track again. So being an empath, a lot of people resist it. They don't want to feel other people's stuff. They don't want to know what's going to happen, in 5 years from now. They don't want to have these prophetic dreams, and yet they do. So it's important to learn spiritual discernment and to become aware, to become consciously aware, a conscious and clear vessel, right, of divine light,
Mm-hmm.
divine prophecy, if you will.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad you asked me those questions. So it sounds like you can relate, and that really resonates for you.
Yes, very much. Yes, I always felt like I was from another planet when I was with my parents. I'd be
Well, you
driving the
are.
car going, well, I know that too. But they
We
said,
all are. We all
yeah,
are. So that's
well,
okay.
everybody on the planet basically is, most of us, many of us, I'd say,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the majority. But so I was going to ask you about the divine feminine and sacred masculine.
Oh,
Many
yes.
of us have been doing this work for a while and have been working on healing our
Exactly.
divine feminine and our sacred masculine, and trying to embody those aspects of us. And what does that mean for women and men who are starting on this journey? Like, how can you explain what does this mean to envelop those two powers, the sacred feminine and the divine feminine, sacred masculine?
Everything's changing, right? So genders, everything is sort of like merging and meeting, and it's there, the energy of sort of reunion
Mm-hmm.
and almost like becoming one with our femininity and masculinity, but a divine, sacred femininity and masculinity. So, meaning we're here to heal those wounds, the feminine and the masculine. A healthy feminine or masculine energy is looks and feels very different um, than a wounded one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. Healthy female who is really in her power is very relaxed, is receptive, is in tune with nature, in tune with the moon, with the natural cycles and rhythms of the universe and flow. A sacred feminine gift or energy, when it's balanced and awakened, is very pure, is very loving, and is also able to sort of hold that space of receiving and sort of just being very intuitively tuned in to their surroundings. Now, a divine masculine, a masculine trait would be like the giver, the doer, the provider, the protector,
Mm-hmm.
right? Also, the one that takes action steps in the world, the one that's proactive, the one that is in the intellectual side of the brain, the right side, or actually the left side, the logical, right? And the right side would be more like the intuitive side of the brain. So what we want to do is we want to merge and marry the two sides, the two dual aspects of us into one being, into one body. Because if we look at the angels, archangels, and the ascended masters, they are genderless. They don't have the separation or, sort of like I'm male or I'm female. Some of them do, but when we look at the ascended masters, the ascension masters,
Mm-hmm.
they really, it's hard to tell because they look feminine and masculine because they embody both traits in a very balanced, healed, and harmonized way. So they have the ease, the flow, and they're also making changes in the world. They're also transforming the planet. Right? So that's the male. I'm transforming the planet. I'm going to take this inspired action step, this idea, this divine inspiration that came through, right, in my dream, and going to create a healing center. I'm going to take people on tours to heal themselves, or whatever it is, or I'm going to write a book. These are all healthy embodied masculine traits. The feminine would be more like, you know what, I'm going to trust in divine timing. I'm going to trust that that I'll meet the right people the right opportunities will present themselves to me. I'm not going to rush or over try. I'm just going to trust the universe and
Mm.
trust my gifts. So, and trust my psychic awareness. So you see, it's important to have both at play so that we can just be and take action steps. And we also want to be able to receive the blessings, but also give others blessings,
Mhm.
right? So this is the embodied sacred femininity and divine masculinity at work here. And this is what we're moving into, these energies, to rebalance and reharmonize ourselves, each other, and the planet.
And I think if you even take it to the young couples and the, that are marrying, people are now, everybody's working. I mean, when I was, in that early marriage years, people were still, women were all jumping into jobs. Exactly. They were starting to, but
Mm-hmm.
now everyone's working. And so men are really becoming part of, some men will be the stay-at-home dads and the moms will go to work, and that's okay. And men will accept that. When he's in his sacred masculine, he can totally accept that. And
Yeah.
he's totally balanced his feminine and masculine. That's how
You,
you see a modern male doing that. And then the female, she has embodied her masculine as well by going to work and being willing to, be the provider. It's interesting. It's more balanced. It's much more equal. The partnership is so much more. It's nice. It's equal. That's how I'm seeing that, and it's
yeah.
wonderful to see. And that's just like a basic look at it. That's what I'm looking at. But so
Yeah.
that's so merging. You talk about the twin flames, and you talk about this is a soul journey. How does this all work together? The twin flame. What is a twin flame? What people would love to.
It's just
People love
another.
talking about twin flames, and what exactly is a twin flame?
I don't think there are any hard rules here.
Hmm.
It's what feels light for you and what feels true for you. The way I look at twin flames is that we're our own twin flame, and our twin flame lives within
Ah,
us.
that's
It's another aspect of us because we're all twin souls, multiple souls, really. You know, we're taught that we only have one soul, but really the way I see it is that we have multiple souls. And some traditions say that we even have five souls, like some shamans, for example, say that. But it's just like merging with your highest soul aspect. And um, yeah, so it's like the twin, our twin, it's just another part of us. And it's like kind of getting away from or transmuting our dualistic nature
hmm
into a harmonistic unification, right? So we're moving into like, oh, I am my own lover. I'm my own inner lover.
hmm
And if I meet someone on the outside that complements who I am as soul, and having souls, then and being soul, then that's great, But it's actually we're the only one that could unconditionally fulfill ourselves,
That's
right?
beautiful. I love
And
that. That's a
that's
that's a fabulous message. I love that because
yeah,
that's for me is why I did this show to help people embrace and learn to love themselves and to own their divine light. So, and to me, when you merge the masculine and the feminine that way into
yeah.
you're your own twin flame, that is truly owning your divine light and being who you are and being leading that beautiful life that you've been waiting for and creating that life you want to. And
And also not losing your light, your energy, your life force, right? In the energy body of another soul.
yes, that's wonderful. That's so true. That is so true. Because in the old, yeah, we're in such a change now. I've been in both of those worlds. When I was growing up, I saw my parents, and I see
Yeah.
myself, and then I see the new way it's looking at. And I mean, my husband and I have grown together. Thank goodness. I'm very blessed. It wasn't always easy, but we did it. But anyway,
That's
that was
awesome.
beautiful. I love that. So I know you have a wonderful, generous gift to tell us about. And
Yep.
I would love to let you tell us more about your gift today. Vandana.
Thank you so much, Janet. So I'm just going to put my glasses on so I could see it. I want to just like walk you
Sure.
by the hand, like step by step, real quick, just to remind everyone that we all carry feminine and masculine wisdom, right? But what we want to do is just create more balance and more flow, so we don't have to feel sort of silenced or shut down. So these tracks, these transmissions are composed of accelerated divine light,
Mm-hmm.
which actually comes in through us when we say yes and we accept these higher frequencies, these divine light frequencies, to heal our hearts, heal our minds, our souls, and to really transform us from the inside out, and to help us fall in love with our own twin flame, to marry our higher self and our I am presence. And you know, and this relationship is the only truly consistently fulfilling relationship. With other souls, you know, there might be periods of support and romance and love and companionship, but truly we can only gift ourselves what we need on the inside, from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else or anyone else that we meet that is a divine complement to who we are is just the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to claim your powers and to own your gifts and to be like your own master, to master your highest destiny, I put together this package, and it'll just heal and harmonize both aspects of you to create more balance, more unity consciousness. So this will also help you to ground, to feel more grounded, more focused, more aligned with the divine. There's also a track where I introduce the archeas, which are the divine feminine archangels,
Mm-hmm.
and they also channel divine wisdom and awareness, so that you could really feel this divine feminine presence, almost like this pure, holy light, or like the unconditional love of the divine. So these are, each track or each transmission is a long time. It's not, these are not just like 15-minute transmissions. So each track contains teachings, it contains wisdom clearings, like emotional clearings, and also these creation codes, these recreation codes, so you can recreate yourself this year
Mm-hmm.
and reset, because this is a year of resetting and recalibrating. It's sort of like we're under construction.
Oh, okay.
And we're all like sort of, you know, reconstructing ourselves and reviewing our lives, right? But we don't have to wait until we leave our bodies in order to conduct this life review. We can create a new book of life right now. So that's what this prepares you to do, to heal your feminine Christed heart and also your masculine Christed heart. So there's like the Divine Mother Sophia, and there's also the Divine Feminine Christ. So all of these creation codes are embedded in each track. So you just feel amazing when you listen. I also invited in Kuan Yin, who's one of my favorite ascended masters, and she will light what's called a lavender flame, which is sort of like a flame to transmute, you know, any harmony, debris, disempowerment that you might be feeling as a woman or a man, or you might have been raised around. You know, our parents were not always the perfect role models for a healthy, embodied feminine and masculine energy. So these all contain that loving kindness. So it's kind of giving you a break. You can listen while you're sleeping. You could listen in dream time. You can, you know, lower the volume and even put it on silence, and you will still receive these healing frequencies, these divine healing frequencies, right? Wherever you go. If you're traveling, you can just download these tracks on, you know, an iPod, an iPad, or whatever it is. God bless you. And yeah, it helps people in so many ways to really get clear on why they're here. And so that's why I put together this package, because a lot of us are walking around really disembodied in our own bodies.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's gorgeous. Oh, thank you. And it's very generous. I know you have it's a high value on it. $200 value, and it's free to all the audience. And I would love our audience to email us and let us know what they thought of our wonderful light-filled conversation that we've had together. And we read them all. And thank you, Vandana, for being the amazing embodiment of feminine frequencies and unconditional love that you are. And you're infusing this planet with divine light, and you're helping humanity, and you're a beacon of that divine light. And I feel so blessed to be with you. So I'm hoping that everyone who has been watching this, we've inspired you to unlock your passion, ignite your authenticity, so you can finally create that life you love and own your divine light. So my name is Janet Miller, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you, Vandana.
Thank you, Janet. Namaste.